It is there for those of you who have burnt your bridges with a Discover, burnt your bridges with a Capital One. When I did get this card, I had burnt my bridges with all of them. This card did what it needed to do for my credit profiles that I have gathered over time. They all serve a purpose. They all help me get a step up because now I'm getting approved for Discover. Now I'm getting approved for Amex. Now I'm getting approved for Capital One. Now, good morning, good afternoon, good night. It's Amber Manaya. We are back with credit card stacking. If you've tuned into my last two, I am going from bottom of the barrel to top of my list. The cards that I've started with and the cards that I'm continuing with are cards that are basically there for people who have bad credit, building credit. This is actually how I started building my credit back up. These are not cards that I would get. The first few cards are not cards that I would get, but these are last resort cards. So for those of you who are having a hard time, these first couple videos on credit stacking are going to help you. If you don't know me well, I have 20 credit cards at the moment. I am credit card stacking. When I get to about 30 or 35, I will give it a break. I get a new card like once every 3 months. I'm getting a lot of pre-qualifications in the mail. That's what I'm going by now because I really don't need any more cards. I only use like 3 of my credit cards. The rest of them are there for credit limit, just to increase my overall credit limit, which lowers my utilization, which lets banks know that I am responsible, I pay my bills on time, everything is low. I'm not a high risk. So that's why I do keep these cards that I have, even when I don't use them. So again, today we are talking about my MERRICK bank card. MERRICK. How do I feel about MERRICK? This is not a card that I use. My limit on this credit card is $2,000. That adds $2,000 to my overall credit limit, which lowers my utilization by $2,000 from the full amount. That's the number one reason. That's the only reason I keep this card. This card has no perks. There's no cash back on this card. Like, there's not 1%. There's nothing. When I first got this card, I was okay with that because this is I believe it's called the double your credit line. So this double your credit line MERRICK card starts you off at $1,000. After 6 months of on-time payments, they do move you to $2,000. I wanted that. At the time when I had no credit, I needed that. This does not look good on my credit anymore. This will be taken off when I go through all the cards that I do not need, do not want, do not do me any justice, but it's there for now. So again, this card has no cash back. You cannot add any authorized users to this card. You cannot do any cash advances off of this card. There's no balance transfers on this card. This is another rainy day, rainstorm, thunderstorm card. If I'm ever in a pickle, I'll say I have $30,000 in credit if I'm ever in a pickle and push comes to shove. That I'm not touching, that I don't plan on touching, that I don't need to touch, but it's there. If I ever have an issue, I don't need to call somebody to borrow money. Even though this doesn't get cash advances, I do have other cards that do, but I don't need to borrow money. I don't need to freak out. If I use this card today, a statement is not going to pull up for another month, and then I have a month to pay that off. That's why I keep these cards, because credit cards, even with no perks, buy you time. They buy you time freedom. They give you a moment to strategize and to plan. They don't make it so you're going to lose your car, your kids, your house, your wife. They don't make it so that happens. Now, if you can blow the next 30 days after using this card, and then you can blow the next 30 days, then yeah, now you're paying interest. Interest is something I do not pay. We don't pay interest over here. Now, this card, you cannot just go apply for it. I did look on their website. You can apply for a secured card, but it's not going to be the $1,000 card that after 6 months of on-time payment, they boost you to $2,000. But you can get a secured card with MERRICK. If you were going to get a secured card with MERRICK, just go to Discover. As long as you haven't fucked them over, go to Capital One or Discover. Go to SoFi has a secured card. Who else? FNBO, they're not the best, but they have a secured card. MERRICK is the bottom of the barrel if you're going to go for a secured card. How did I get this card? I realized this card was a pre-approval in the mail. There's no yearly fee for this. Of course, there would be no other reason for me to have this card. If there was a yearly fee, I would not have this card. So I got a pre-approval in the mail. I was approved. Because if you go on their website, you cannot just apply for this double your credit line credit card. It only has respond by to mail offer or whatever. Now again, a secured card you can apply because they'll take anybody. But to get this card, you have to have gotten a pre-approval in the mail. If you've gotten a pre-approval in the mail, you probably have the kind of credit that this card is for. When I got this card years ago, I didn't have any credit. It was just there for, as soon as I realized that there were really no perks, this is not a card that I was maxing out, because I'm not maxing out $1,000 and getting no perks. I'm not going to max out $2,000 and get no perks. I do log in once a month to make sure, you know, or twice a month just to make sure it's not being used. This card is unlocked, but it's there. If they decide they want to close this card on me, they'd be doing me a favor. But it is there for those of you who have burnt your bridges with a Discover, burnt your bridges with a Capital One. When I did get this card, I had burnt my bridges with all of them. All of them. Amex, you name it. Again, I'm out of the jail of Amex, Discover, Capital One. We in good graces again, but this card did what it needed to do for my credit profile. It doesn't look good on there, but again, I am not applying for a car, house in the next 2 years. I'm in a credit building stage. So once I get to the point where I have too many cards, I start getting off the ones I don't need. It served its purpose. It's like a free trade line. It didn't come with any age, right? But it did come with lowering my utilization and raising my credit limit overall. And that's what creditors want to see. The bullshit cards that I have gathered over time, they all serve a purpose. They all help me get a step up, because now I'm getting approved for Discover. Now I'm getting approved for Amex. Now I'm getting approved for Capital One. Now I'm getting approved for Apple. Now I'm getting approved for Citi. Now I'm getting approved for Wells Fargo. These cards are placeholders. That's what this is. It's nothing but a placeholder. But if you have nowhere else to turn, it's a good placeholder. MERRICK does have better cards. It's weird though, because they're not considered MERRICK. They're like this other branch of MERRICK. It's called Olo. Olo does offer like cash back, and they're part of MERRICK. But I do see some of Olo you have to have gotten those pre-approvals through the mail. Soft pulls. I will never be applying for an Olo, and I'll never have another MERRICK credit card. But MERRICK, I will say, you've done me well. You've done me justice. You've helped me improve my overall credit profile. I know you're not here to stay, but I had a good time. So if you get a pre-approval in the mail, ask yourself, what am I trying to accomplish with my credit in the short term and the long term? In the long term, if I'm trying to go for a 100K loan in the next year, don't put this on your credit. If I'm trying to just build over time, go ahead, throw it on there. It does not hurt. If you loved this credit review, stay tuned for my next one. I think we're going to be getting to the ones with the cash back moving forward. I'm excited to show you guys that. If you want to learn more about finances and credit overall, tune in, watch all of my videos. If you would like a credit consultation on how you go from 0 to hero, which is exactly what I did. I went from owing all the banks, all the major banks, big money, to getting it all off of my credit and being back in their good graces. There's a strategy, and I can help you with that. Go ahead, and I believe you can send me messages now on YouTube. Okay. Click on my link tree in my description. You can book a consultation over Zoom with me. We can get down to the bottom of your credit. I do credit coaching once a month, once a week, every 2 weeks, whatever you decide is best for you. I do offer that. We can get to the bottom of it, and I can get you into a 700, 850 credit score as quickly as you want to get there. This is all up to you. I'm here to help. Thank you for tuning in. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe. I'm going to help you save and make so much money. And increase your knowledge when it comes to credit. Increase your finances. Increase your financial stability, outlook, opportunities. If you can't tell by now, this excites me. But again, MERRICK, cheers. Cheers to MERRICK.